The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Wine Vault Radio with Jason Bryant from winevaulttv.com.
And the discussions surrounding the Auckland mayoral debate are continuing in the Kiwi studio off air there, Bo, but we're now into opening up the bottle of the wine, Jason.
Yes, yeah, this is what I was here for. But I actually quite like the discussion about Auckland politics. Contour Ridge, 09 Central Tiger Pinot. Couldn't find anything about it. They just dropped it off, dropped and ran. Yeah. And I tried to look and search about...
You don't even know where the vineyard is?
No, who made it, why, the story behind it, nothing. So,
wow. So
this is a real surprise for me.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice just to do it kind of blind.
Yeah. No preconceptions about it?
You haven't even opened it yet. So
I haven't even opened it,
no
no.
idea, do you? Could be vinegar.
I really have no idea.
Yeah.
I was chatting earlier that there's still a lot of wine out in the marketplace, kept in tanks, and from 07 through to 2010, the current release.
Cheers. So potentially this could be a well-known vineyard, but just going
doing
under another
brand
name.
protection. Yeah. Ironically, it talks about Paihia being the place where it was distributed from. So this could well be someone else's wine, doing a bit of brand protection so that they don't have to drop their prices too much and destroy their brand overnight.
And what year is it?
09.
09. Okay.
So it tends to be like second labels tend to be kind of like the younger, lesser quality fruit, and they tend to come out earlier, whereas kind of the 09's Pinots will be coming out like later this year, and the start of next year. So kind of 18 months, 2 years from harvest to release on the marketplace. So
let's get our nose in there, eh?
It is quite light coloured. It's very kind of plummy cherry. It looks a bit too bright for me. And I just get a violet. For me, violet on the nose.
Violet?
Violet and plums, and quite sweet. That may be the alcohol, I'm not sure.
What are your thoughts, Simon?
Oh, I think the same. Cherryish, yes. It's quite light, isn't it? It smells quite light.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's maybe it'll settle a little. Yeah. But we haven't.
And for $20,
for $20, it may be good.
Yeah. Which is where a second label Pinot should be right now. Just to get the volume moving, so that we dry up some of our reservoirs of wine.
Boy, dry. Have a go at that. Dry. Really dry.
It is dry, which is a good thing. And it's got a lot of acid. And not much of that real kind of plummy, ripe cherry fruit as would be suggested on the nose.
I'm getting a bit of bubblegum in there too.
Oh, yeah.
It's, for me, it's fairly linear. It's fairly one-dimensional.
Simple wine.
Very simple. But you could put it with food.
Could you cellar it for a little bit and it might develop
a year, I would say.
You could drink this very easily with pizza or just simple food, simple wine. It's
exactly
good picnic read.
Yeah,
I mean a good picnic read. I don't mean a bad picnic.
Yeah,
I mean
it's
a good one to take.
Yeah, you can take it to the beach and something like that. Wouldn't be lost with kind of any Italian food which is high in acid, because this has got enough acid to counterbalance that. And it would just make like an easy, quaffable midweek wine, where you don't really have to think too much.
And at that price point, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Label's not unattractive. Bit bland. The wine's fairly simple, but I've got to say, for $20, it's pretty good.
Contour Ridge 2009 Pinot Noir.
Jason, do you think the price of Pinots is high, artificially high?
Not for what goes into it.
Okay.
And then you start to look at Burgundy, which really starts where our wines finish.
Right.
For good quality Burgundy, and kind of in some of the places and the marginal viticultural areas, there's a lot of intensive work that goes into keeping the fruit of good enough quality to use for their premium labels. Pinot is a grape. It's a very thin-skinned grape, so you need to hand harvest it. And if you have to go through the vineyard and bunch thin, so you get the concentration in the berries, that's also kind of very resource heavy and labour intensive. So relatively no, but given the current economic situation that the world finds itself in, it does seem expensive. Although we have seen a price fall over the last 18 months, and that's indicative of the crisis and the nature of the wine industry right now. And we needed to see that.
You wouldn't pay much less than this for a reasonable Pinot, would
No.
you? No.
$20, I think, is really where it should start.
Yeah. And for a really good Pinot, what would you...
For a really good New Zealand Pinot, like $50, 45,
really?
50
45, 50, that much still?
Yeah. I mean, we're making some fantastic Pinot, really good, world-class Pinot. But there's a big difference between those that are making world-class Pinot and everybody else. And there's only that top kind of 5% that are making world-class Pinot. And then we've got a lot of homogeneous, generic style wines.
Yeah, which, of course, is true of most things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bell curve of quality.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think we need to be aiming for that top bracket. More of our industry needs to be making more premium wine.
But the problem is, though, that a lot of people see that success, so the early success, so they get into the market and then sort of flood it, further down the track.
It's so cyclical. It happens in every industry. We had the kiwi fruit industry. Next to it, we dairy. Any industry where they see people see the industry leaders making a lot of money, people want to jump into that industry and make money themselves. They're
only making the money because they're in there early. That's just,
yeah. And then you get a few people who are very lucky and do have a strategy behind their business and are able to make it successful. But the industry, the wine industry, especially in Marlborough, a lot of mum and dad investors who had this romantic ideal notion that
pretty tough to make money in wine these days, isn't it?
Oh, extremely tough. I mean, there'd be very, very few vineyards and wineries in New Zealand that are making any money right now.
Even the big ones.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's only one winery that I know of in New Zealand that doesn't have any debt, and that would tell you something of the industry.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Jason, for bringing in Contour Ridge 2009 Pinot Noir, and Simon Wilson for joining us for the tasting as well this morning from Metro Magazine, editor of Metro Magazine. And don't forget, a reminder again, there is that debate or /quiz happening at Sale Street early Sunday evening.
Get there early.
What time is it?
Free entry from 6.
Okay.
Debate itself kicks off. The quiz itself kicks off at 6:30, but there is a big RSVP list already.
Great.
People can find out about by looking in Metro Magazine.
And a lot of talent there besides Brown and Banks as well,
right,
with T-Radar hosting. And that is the end of the show. Thanks so much.